But just so many citizens and, professors, as I said, were involved in this. And the parents were so proud of their children. It was just very uplifting to see the parents come and see their children that maybe had not been that interested in school, excited about these projects. And because they're saving the world, God bless them. They really were inspired and inspiring. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Howard Bishop. They're doing great things over there, and I was extremely proud. They had medals and trophies, and their award night, they took it very seriously. It's a national thing, but it's the first time that Bishop has done anything like this. And their award ceremony is Thursday at Bishop from 5:30 to 7:30, if anyone would like to attend. That's what it is. That's all, I think. Anyone else have anything to say? All right, we will go on then to citizen input. And 15 minutes is provided for citizens to address the board prior to the regular business meeting. It's requested that citizens keep their comments to approximately 3 minutes. And welcome to anyone who would like to come forward. We have first Wayne Fields from Miller Music Department. Mr. Fields, we've heard you before, and we're happy you're here.
Thank you very much. I guess it was very appropriate for me to be here tonight.
That's right.
Speaking in reference to a musical tribute with the Howard Bishop Middle School Chorus being here performing to the superintendent of the school board and to the distinguished members of the school board of Alachua County and to my elder, Mr. White. Thank you all for allowing me to come and speak with you tonight. I am here representing the Miller Music Department. That is a department that is at Lincoln Middle School, and you all voted the last time I was here to unanimously, officially name the chorus room and the band room after Jerry C. Miller and Geraldine Miller. Mr. Miller was the first and only band director at Lincoln High School. After Lincoln High School was closed down, he went on to Howard Bishop Junior High School, as it was known then, and was the band director for about 10 years or so. And Geraldine Miller was the first and only chorus director. And she went on to Buchholz High School and retired at Eastside High School and became a member of the philanthropist organizations in Gainesville and committed much of her time to helping others. On April 4th, we are officially recognizing them, and we will be at the Lincoln Middle School auditorium, to which I wanted to officially invite you all to please come. We will have numerous members from the Lincoln High School alumni organizations. We will also have numerous individuals just from the general public who they touched, who they influenced, who they had the opportunity to be able to teach. And the one thing that I do want to let you all know that is most important to me is that we will be charging a $25 admission fee, with every penny going to music students in Alachua County, in band, in chorus, as well as in dance. So we invite you all out April 4th from 6 to 8, Lincoln Middle School Auditorium. I've spoken to a couple of you, particularly School Board Member Hyatt. We had the distinguished honor of being in the Gainesville String Orchestra, and I appreciate you as well in our conversations that we've had. So I would like to If there are no questions, please, if you will, come to April 4th, on April 4th, Lincoln Middle School Auditorium. And by the way, the band and the chorus will be performing. Members of the original cast of Bye Bye Birdie are coming from far and near to do and perform excerpts. Geraldine Miller also wrote the alma mater of Lincoln High School, and some of the original members of her chorus will be there performing as well.
Thank you, Mr. Fields. Thank you so much. Ms. Clark?
Board members, you may recall several board meetings ago, I don't remember which board meeting it was, Mr. Fields loaned us his copy, sealed original copy of the album of the Bye Bye Birdie. And David Stanley, who may, I don't know if he's up there tonight or not, in our graphic arts department, has recreated that. And so we've created this to hang there at Lincoln in the band or chorus area, wherever it fits best as part of this project. So we just wanted to share that tonight because we didn't want to return the album to you, but that we
Okay.
have that
Can you hold it
to
up?
hang in this, yeah, if you can hold that, Mr. Hyde, that'd be great. So it's all sealed up and wrapped, so he's got that, then we'll have that for the, to commemorate
Thank
it.
you very, very much.
Yeah, some of us remember when Bye Bye Birdie came out.
It actually was on television this past weekend, the
And
musical.
and I would like to say that our superintendent's executive assistant, Jenny Peck, was a student, a band student of Jerry Miller and Howard Bishop. So I just found that out today. So, anyway, thank you.
Small
Would you like us to get this to Lincoln? Or
Yes, we'll have to get it to Lincoln.
Okay,
Yes, you are.
I have a
Thank you.
Thank
question,
you.
Madam Chair.
Oh, yes, Ms.
For the scholarship, do you have something online, or do we get tickets from you? I didn't hear that piece.
Correct.
Or we just paying that night?
We will have a GoFundMe, I think I heard you all mention. That's what I've been told by a board that we've established.
Okay, thank you.
And so we'll have it ready for you in about a week.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Fields.
thank you.
Next person who submitted a form is Gabe Kamowitz.
Good evening, board members, staff.
Good evening.
I'm here, and I will be in the future, I'm afraid, for one particular reason, and I will try to make clear the link between education of children and what I'm going to start out to sound like an adult issue. I am a candidate for the at-large seat for the Gainesville City Commission. I'm seeking that seat for only one purpose, and it's not to be elected or chosen. I want to make Gainesville Butterfly City again. In 2009, the city of Gainesville authorized and certified certain recommendations that allowed us to certify the city as the first butterfly city in the world. For reasons that I don't want to discuss, in 2017, the Gainesville City Commission voted 5-2 to shut down Butterfly City. I want to revive it because of two things that have happened. In October of 2019, in Hull, England, in the United Kingdom, that city became what it thought was the first butterfly city in the world. It did it through the auspices of a member of parliament, a Labour Party member who survived the Brexit vote, and she's still there. They did it by planting 3,000 trees. What we did the first time, which is critical, and here I want to invoke the name of Andrei Sarakov, who is a collections curator at the Tropical Butterfly Collection of McGuire Center. Since then, almost every elementary school, Gainesville High School, Micanopy Elementary School, have butterfly gardens. We want to bring back the effort and the known effort for butterfly gardens, but the sister city relationship that we want to establish with Hull, England, will produce, we hope, school interchanges about pollination, about climate change, about fostering chorus records, artwork of children, etc., coming in from the United Kingdom, going out from Gainesville, Florida. The bottom line, and what I'll be back to you about, are field trips. I alone have gone beyond my group and have tried to advocate for 10 years a coherent field trip plan for the schools of Alachua. I can't get it. I'm making a public records request. I'll follow it up. I want to know every school trip that was taken in this school year or planned for the rest of the school year. Every child should have the chance, certainly, to be at the Harn Plaza, to see the Harn Art Museum collection, to be at the Tropical Butterfly collection, to be at the Cade Museum. What's the gimmick? These places, with the exception of the Harn, charge fortunes. In the East Side, you can't go to Cade Museum easily or regularly. The expense is enormous.
Mr.
I don't know who
Kamowitz,
bears it.
could you bring your remarks to a close, please?
I will be back on it so that I will conclude. I would just point out one thing. I'm annoyed by it. There is a correction on the board on your civility pledge. The Gainesville Sun published a letter to the editor years ago that clearly stated from me that politeness costs so little is not attributed to Abraham Lincoln. It was a myth that was developed. It was attributed, as most anybody can trace, to a weekly editor in Kentucky.
Okay,
So
thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr.
for your time.
Kamowitz. All right, Pam Korthowski.
Good evening, Pam Korthowski from the Alachua County Council of PTA. Madam Chair, board members, superintendent, I just wanted to come and let you know of some events that we are having this month. It's a busy month, as I see, and I wanted to invite you all to come out to our events. This Saturday, February 8th, from 9 to 12 at Hidden Oak Elementary, we're going to be holding what we call an accepted training, but this training is actually for our community. I'm really excited to have a speaker from USF to come and talk to us about the census and what that means for our county. And Alachua County has to gain from the census this year, so we need to get our community involved and engaged as to why that's important. So we're inviting our community as well as you all to come out and hear that talk. And also Jackie Johnson, your very own Jackie Johnson, will be doing a talk on media. And we're also having a talk on what school board members do to educate our members and our community about the role of a school board member. So you're all welcome to come. On Thursday, February 20th, from 6 to 8, we have our general meeting at Aquin Jones. We're going to be learning more about who Aquin Jones was and what he did for our community. And you are all invited to that as well. It is going to be our Founders Day general meeting where we celebrate our founders of PTA. Also on February 26th, we have our ESC workshop that we will be holding at Tower Road. And the title is Help Me Help My Child. And it's really for families with younger children that have developmental issues and need some direction as to what kind of resources are here in our community. And to end it all, on February 29th, we have our PTA Reflections Art Program that we're celebrating 50 years of the Reflections Art Program. And we're so excited to be sending 15 submissions from Alachua County to Florida State this year. So we're rooting them on, and hopefully they'll move on to national as well. So you're invited to that. That's at Headquarters Library on Saturday from 2 to 4. And I just want to thank you all for your continued support and being partners in education with the Accepta and the PTA in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Korthowski, and thank you for all that you do for our schools.
Question on the census, is that Ms. Lowry, did she say?
I don't think she
Census?
mentioned who was doing the, did you mention? Go ahead, I'm sorry, come back.
It's actually, her name is Noreen Dollard, and she is a professor at the University of South Florida. But they hold the grant for Kids Count, where they do all the research for Kids Count, and they can tell us where Alachua, how we're doing for our kids here. So she's coming up. We met her last week in Tallahassee, and I asked her to come up, and she is. So I think it's huge for us, our county, to have her come and speak about the census and about kids count as well. Okay?
Thank you, Pam. Sandy Parker, come on up.
Good evening, I'm Sandy Parker, and I thought for sure I'd be the only person talking about the 2020 census tonight, but apparently not. I was just poking around the school board's website this afternoon, and the thought occurred to me that I believe that the census will be taught in schools this year, but I did want to, I was remembering a couple of years ago when we had the sales tax vote that there's a lot of paperwork that went home with kids and advertisements around the school, and I was hoping or wondering if the schools are going to have that sort of material to bring home to their parents, because it's highly critical that we get the word out. The state's not really putting much money behind the census this year, and a lot of times when we talk about equity, it seems to be some low-hanging fruit that we could perhaps take advantage of. There was an undercounting problem in the area in 2010, and some folks put some numbers together, and they've calculated that Alachua County has left $390 million on the table during the course of the last decade because of undercounting. That's just federal money going to Alachua County. And if we can reduce any of that, and some of that, they have compiled basically, I think it was like the top 50 federal programs where funds come to the state. I know a portion of that is education related. I know that, I think it's only a little less than 10% of federal funds come, or this school board's budget comes from the federal government.
That's right.
But still, you're talking 31 million, you're talking a good chunk of change that we could be helping out our neighbors by being able to get more funds directed to Alachua County via the census. And if we can just, I'm with Indivisible Gainesville, and we're just running off sheets of paper, and handing them out to people, and it's not a big cost, to put them in the kids folder, come April 1st is when they're going to start really, I think it's mid-March when they get the materials, and then April 1st is when they start filling out the census. So the more people we get, the better, and what, we have 31,000 students, something like that, so that's a lot.
29.
29, that's a lot of households we can reach. Anyway,
Absolutely.
thank y'all for your time.
Thank you.
And you have my information if y'all want to reach out and get more information.
Sure.
And I sent an email earlier today, so if, I can put you in touch with the people, and I guess she can too, that know a lot about it, so we can get the word out.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Parker, and it's an excellent idea, really. Did you want to
We'll
speak?
just have Ms. Johnson reach out, because we do actually have a marketing plan that we've been working with. Actually, she may wish to speak to it just briefly, but I know that she can reach out to you and tell.
There's no one
kind of
else
what we have
on the
planned
list to
for that.
speak, so if Ms. Johnson would like to say a word or two.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Obviously, this is a issue of great importance for the entire community and certainly for the school system. Superintendent Clark, myself, and Jenny Weiss met actually with a team of folks from the local Census Bureau back in, I believe it was October. And at the time, we talked about their two biggest priorities. One was hiring census workers, and then two, of course, getting people to fill out the census. And we have been basically in just about daily contact with the folks from the local Census Bureau ever since then. We sent out mass emailings to every parent 2 weeks ago, and then again last night, another one went out at the request of the Census Bureau with information about hiring for census workers. We are actually hosting recruitment fairs at two of our schools during the month of February on Saturdays. So Fort Clark, for example, will be open this Saturday from 9 to 2, and they will be using our computer labs to sign people up to be census workers, and then the following week it's going to be at Howard Bishop. We've got a calendar for our Parent Academy buses that will be going out into the neighborhoods to help people fill out their census forms. And then there are a number of other things that we're going to be doing. So we've already done some mass communications with parents, and that will obviously continue as we move from the hiring priority that the census has had up until now into the actual getting people to fill out the census. So we are definitely in frequent communication. We've become definitely email and phone buddies with the folks at the census. And in fact, I just had another meeting with them, with 3 of their representatives last week. So that is definitely ongoing.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. So important. And a couple of friends of mine, retired teachers, signed up to be census workers. Good pay. Okay, we are now at the consent agenda. Superintendent Clark?
Thank you, Mr. Roy. I recommend that the school board approve the consent agenda as described in items 1 through 9.
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Hyatt, seconded by Dr. Paulson. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? And the motion passes 5-0. On the action items, we have Mr. Rella speaking about the financial audit reports.
Thank you, Chairman Roy. If you might recall, our annual financial report was approved by the board in September and submitted to DOE. Subsequent that, we had an audit team, an independent firm of CPAs come in, review our financial statement and also our internal controls, and this report is a result of that. And this is for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2019. The superintendent recommends the school board approve the financial audit reports as presented.
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Hyatt. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, second by Ms. Surton. And you have a question, Ms. Surton? Okay.
There was one, when I looked in the letter from the CPA, from Purvis, about us coming up with a plan of how we wanted to monitor internal accounts, and I'll have you put together something along that line or address that issue that was in the letter.
We do not have anything current, so what board member Certain is, she's referring to is the GASB 60s, GASB 87 pronouncement.
84, yeah.
I'm sorry, 84, which relates to leases. We're currently working on that. And there's another pronouncement, GASB 87, which relates to fiduciary funds. It's still kind of a work in progress. We've been doing, since they're a new pronouncement, and it's not like they give you a ton of like technical assistance. We've got a group of CFOs from around the state, and we're kind of racking our brains trying to address that. We do not have a plan at this point. We will certainly have one in the not-so-distant future.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other discussion?
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Hyatt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say that, just for the public, we are audited and audited and audited. And that's a good thing, because it's the public's money. It's not our money. And I just wanted to say that we've done very well. I think if, every year we audit ourselves, and is it every other year or every third year where the team from the state comes in?
Right, so we do audits, lots of them. So we have, in terms of our financial operation, there's probably 10 to 15 that relate to federal grants and FRS, the Department of Management Services. The ones that are kind of bigger are the annual financial report, which is done every third year by the Auditor General's office. They come, set up shop in our district office and audit us for about a year, or a year to a year and a half. Very thorough, but yes, we are very familiar with this process, and it keeps us constantly on the ball, making sure that we're not having issues that we've seen in other agencies.
And having been interviewed by the auditor, I wasn't prepared for that. I mean, I'm just saying, no one prepares, tells me what to say. It's a very transparent process, and I, for one, as a citizen, I appreciate that, but I just wanted to assure everyone that we follow every jot and tittle of requirements from the state. So, thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Hyatt. Ms. Clark? Okay. All right. We have had a motion and a second. All in favor then of the financial audit report?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Did we vote on this already? No, okay. Opposed? Hearing none. All in favor then?
We've already done that.
That's what I said. I thought we'd already done this. I'm sorry. You really got it doubly. Okay, we're back to citizen input. Dr. Katurba, you're up.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members.
Good evening.
Superintendent Clark. I promise you were kind and allowed me to speak a little bit longer, so I won't take my whole 3 minutes, I hope. One thing I wanted to give to you, just as a follow-up to my comments about graduation rates being the gold standard, but not the whole story, particularly in a college town. This is a paper from the National Association of Secondary School Principals talking about preparing all students for post-secondary success. So if I could give that to you to read, just to see where I'm coming from and the trends in the country, to pay more attention to that aspect of it and not just say, we're done. The other thing I wanted to thank Mr. Moore for sending me an email of a partial public record request in regards to my ongoing conversation about clarification about the equity committees of the equity plan. And since I did sit through most of your retreat last week, I did get some idea of what was going on, but unfortunately, all the discussion still didn't answer all my questions, and I still have not gotten any other response about my questions, and I'm just here to tell you that. In regard to, and there was also some confusion, I think, about the open letter that was signed by, I don't know what it was, 800 or 900 people at this point, about what the intent was, what the meaning of it was, et cetera. This book was just published. It's called Just Schools. And I know I talked to Mrs. Roy about the article she presented in the retreat, and I said I wanted to share one with you. And I said, well, what the heck, why don't I just copy them for everybody? It's the first chapter from this book about building equitable collaborations with families and communities. And it's written by a Japanese-American woman, professor. And so it's a little bit academic in nature, but I think it is a good way to at least see where we're coming from in terms of engaging, meaningful engagement of communities and families. So if you don't mind if I share that with you, I copied a couple extras, one for Superintendent Clark, and I think a spare one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Katurba. Okay.
Would y'all like these now, or would you like us to put them in your mailboxes? No.
All right, we have finished with citizen input, if there's no one else who would like to speak. And now we are at board member superintendent requests. Let me see, I see Ms. Certain and Dr. McNeely. Go ahead, Ms. Certain.
Thank you. I would just like to make a comment. I didn't make it early when Mr. Fields was here, and there was much talk about Lincoln, and Mrs. Karwathowski said that they're going to talk about Aquan Jones this morning. I didn't see it live, but there was a clip, I guess on Tuesday mornings on TV 20, they're going to profile Black History Fact. So I don't know, Ms. Karwathowski, if you were here when I first came on. I did an extensive presentation on Mr. Aquan Jones and the Lincoln for a number of weeks, because I think what he did in the area was brilliant. But he was the profile. Desmond Walker, the curator or the coordinator at the museum or the History Center there, was on this morning. It's about 3 minutes long, a real nice clip. You can go to WCJB and watch the video live there. And I encourage everyone to go. One of the facts that she mentioned today in that broadcast was how the African-American community supported their school. It was during a period where they wanted to close the school down early, before the end of the school year, but he was working on accreditation. and to keep the school from being closed down. The public, the black community pay taxes, but they raised additional money. He set a goal for them to raise money of $100 a week to keep the school open throughout the year, and they did that. So, so I think it's really good. Anyone who hasn't come, I'll be encouraging them to come. I need to get the times from you for that particular presentation. I'm very well familiar with him. That was one thing. And I didn't mention that on last Sunday, this past Sunday, I went to Newberry to the library, public library system there. We have a wonderful public library district that brings in a lot of good programming. And they had a young lady there, an author, a local author, lives in Newberry, Antoinette Chanel, I think is how you pronounce her last name, and she wrote a cute little book I think it's called Little Black Girl or something like that. And so she read from her book and spoke to the youth that were there, and I sent her contact information to the principal at Newberry Elementary with the hope that maybe they could bring her in there during this time of this particular period here. So kind of good when kids can see someone in the local community with that. So that's all I wanted to mention. Thank you all.
Maybe she could read the book to the children.
I think it would be a good idea. It's illustrated, it's beautifully illustrated. So I don't know if it was someone local who did it, but it's a really cute little book, though. It really is.
Nice. Good on 2 counts. Okay, and Dr. McNeely?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I mentioned during our workshop this afternoon about a possibility of recruiting retired educators. And I wanted to bring this up publicly, but our wonderful assistant superintendent of finance has already asked me, so he's interested, what district, and Ms. Certain helped me with that, Duval superintendent, and I told you who she was related to in this district. And so that means that there is connection, and that if we can learn from other superintendents and districts, we need to be about the business at hand. And I cannot see why we wouldn't jump on this, because teachers are so tired. Teachers need the extra support in their classrooms. And what better persons could handle that are the teachers that used to be at those schools that were great. So I really want this to be looked into, and that we will help the instructional side of our schools with these mentors. And mentors that are paid, not volunteers. We need people on the payroll, and I would say minimally whatever we could get from them, the amount of days, but we need to have this. Now, I said something good because one of the persons who's related to that superintendent is sitting in here, but now I need to say what I want for that individual and their employees. I've already said it to Mr. White, and I asked that it be done by Monday, and he says, no way, Doc, I can get that done, so I gave him till Tuesday. But I want the employees' dispatch at transportation extended. It's too many people, it's not appropriate. We need more ventilation, and we need more space in that area. The director of transportation explained to me vividly, as well as explaining manually to me why that may not be a possibility and why we might need to wait for a couple of years when the whole compound is redone. And I said, no, absolutely no. We're talking about people who work hard every day. And as I witnessed Superintendent Clark, there was 2 bus drivers waiting to be assisted. A dispatcher was speaking to someone via the radio. Another dispatcher was speaking to someone via the telephone. It was too much noise, too much friction. And we need to have the best transportation in the state. And so when we make our employees accessible and happy, then we have a happy department. This is what I need. This is what I'm requesting. I'm hoping facilities and transportation will follow through with me no later than Tuesday. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. McNeely. I just have one thing, if there's no other requests, and that is that in our retreat, we got an updated list of students' absenteeism, and I really had a chance to study that carefully this past week, and it just is shocking, really. And it really explains a lot, in my opinion. For example, one of our D elementary schools, a school with a D, had 150 students that had more than 18 absences. And 28 of those had more than 36 absences. This is a school of 683 students, but it's more than 20% of the student body that has been out for 18 or more days at the least. And everybody probably knows this, but I'm going to say that the lowest quartile of students, when the grade is figured, the lowest quartile is doubled in the figure that amounts to the grade. So, in the formula, I should say. So it's counted double in the formula of any other student. And to me, it seems very obvious that these kids have to be among the lowest quartile. And it's just, I mean, we wonder why a school gets a D when they're working so hard and are making improvements, but never quite reach that threshold to be a C. And, you know, we just have to do something about this absenteeism. I suggested more truancy officers. We have other schools. One high school, sad to say, has a 27.8% of its students, 96 students. I don't want to say how many, because you'll know what school it is. But 96 students had 18 or more days out. And it's just, very apparent that if the kids aren't in school, they're not learning and not doing well on the tests. So I actually talked to Ms. Clark a little bit before this meeting, and she said there are a number of efforts being made right now to get these students to school, community efforts. And so I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention, that this is a major problem when it comes to the schools making the grade. And that's really all. If there's nothing else,
I have my light back on.
oh, do you? I'm sorry.
I forgot to mention, and this is not new to the superintendent, but I see Mrs. Neal as well in the audience, but I've spoken to both of them about what we normally do at this period of the year going into the second FTE. And I would certainly like to say publicly that any students that may be revoked at this time of the year, we are in February, I would like that reversed. We should not be moving children at this time of the year going to a new school, especially a DA school, but any school, as far as I'm concerned, because that child has to learn the new environment, the new teacher, the structure, curriculum, ways. It's just too much. And if we have not done that before now, that's on us. We need to be about commitment to the success of every student. And therefore, I'm asking that if we have any children who need to be going to a zone school at this time of the year, whether it's behavior, attendance, whatever else might be the characteristic, no. I would say not at this time of the year, and I hope I can get my colleagues to say the same. Thank you very much.
Okay, Dr. McNeely, thank you. I just wanted to mention that this is Black History Month, and the artwork in the boardroom here in the back of the room, not necessarily up here, but in the back of the room. Pardon me?
The Florida Highwaymen are African-American artists, so that.
Oh, I see. Yes, I remember I had seen this earlier. Okay, that makes sense. Highwayman. Okay, well, just be sure and look at the artwork, and I think that the Thomas Center Gallery is now open with displaying our students' artwork. So you can stop by there, too. And that's it, and this meeting is adjourned.